I born in Italy in the 78. My father is an immigrant from Egypt and meet my mother in Rome. My mother is born in a small country near Rome called Pico in Ciociaria region. Ciociaria is the Lazio and the border is Campania. Lazio and Campania. When I grow up in my life, I don't know my real roots, my real Egyptian blood. Why? Because my mother changed my name and trying to protect me against the discrimination of the Italian society. Because the family of my mother don't want my father, don't want my mother married with an immigrant from Egypt. Because my grandfather is an Mussolini soldier going Africa for the colonialism to colonize Ethiopia and Eritrea with Mussolini. And when my grandfather go back, my mother wanna marry an immigrant from Africa. You imagine this. And the family of my mother don't want this. When I'm a children, when I was a kid, I'm 3 years old, my father go in jail. And we have a lot of disease in my family, in my home. And my mother trying to protect me and change my name, called me Massimo. Massimo is a typical Italian name. And the people around me in school, in the streets, in my neighborhood, called me Massimo every day of my life. Massimo, Massimo. But when I have my ID, the first time I read Amir Issaa and start a new history of my life. I want to bring back my real life, my Egyptian blood, maybe, okay? And I start to trying to change this situation. When I'm 20 years old, one day I wake up and think, I'm not Massimo, I'm Amir Issaa, okay? And the rap music in this history, it's an important tool for me. When I was a kid, I love music. I love music. I watch in TV the people with guitar, with piano, but I'm from a poor family. I never see in my family, in my home, an instrument or a library, for example. My mother go outside for work every day. I'm in the streets with other kids like me. And for me, the music, it's a expensive thing, maybe, expensive. This is not true, but I was a kid. And the first time my sister go back at home with a cassette tape like this. In this cassette tape, I listened the first time a rap song. And the group is Run DMC. It's a famous classical rap group. And when I listen this, I think, wow, this is different. These people not singing, these people talk on the beat. And I think, wow, this is possible for me. Without instrument, without guitar, without piano, only my voice and a beat. And I start. But I start with songs like some rappers talking about my ego, my style, my neighborhood, like this. But when I grow up, I use rap music to tell my real life. And start with this. This is my first record. I want to show you people. Vinyl. Okay. I'm from the old school hip-hop scene. This is a vinyl from the 2000. For example, this is a cassette tape, my mixtape. All live, this mixtape. All live. I record my lyrics before go in a professional studio with this, with a Walkman, and this Walkman have a microphone, have a speaker for me. It's like a mini studio in my hand, okay? And I start maybe trying to imitate. I listen rapper from US, because in Italy start the scene in the 90s. But I trying to tell my life and represent the people around me like this. In my songs, I recording maybe 200, 300 songs in my career. Now I'm 42 years old, and I start when I'm 15, 16. I write a lot of songs. Every song, it's a little piece of my life, like a page of a book, like this. I talk about my father, talk about my mother, my family. I imitate the US rappers, but only for the style, But I want, in the content of the songs, it's Italy, the change and the evolution, the society, the Italian society, okay, like this. When I start to talk about my life, my immigrant father, my roots, the journalists, the media around me ask me for the interview, okay? I show you the first interview from the 2006, the year of my first album. For example, I never write a lyric for the immigrant people. I write lyrics for the people. And the people around me is immigrant, Italian, from other country, every humans around me, like this. But the journalists and the media don't want this, okay? Write a title like this. Amir Italo Italiano rap per immigrati. Okay.
They want to categorize you as an Italian, Egyptian. Yeah, you rap for immigrants.
For immigrants, okay. I trying to act like a US rapper, maybe. Okay. And this is the history. Maybe this is other article. Amir rap from Rome to Egypt.
Yeah.
So from Rome to Egypt. And the picture, the picture in Toronto, Canada.
Pictures in Toronto.
The picture in Toronto, Canada. Amir rap from Rome to Egypt. I use rap music like this. When I read this, wow, I write some rhymes against this, like this, every time. Rap music really saved my life. Say. Nato in Italia, Amir, scritto sulla sabbia. Prendi il mio nome, lo traduci, principe d'Arabia. Una voce che strilla da Roma fino a Taba. In questa società fredda cerco aria più calda. Figlio dell'amore, del cuore di due persone. Un mix di sangue, culture, razze, religione. Sto qui come portavoce, scendo in missione contro la disperazione che affligge troppe persone. Seconda generazione, guardo mio figlio, la terza. Te provi a sfiorarlo, ti salta la testa se non lo capisci che hai trovato la ricchezza. Noi, pietre preziose silenzioso in mezzo a tutta sta monnezza. Scrivo con la fame di chi non si rassegna. Prendo il vostro odio, lo trasformo in questa penna. SOS, bilancio negativo, se mi chiamano straniero nel posto dove vivo. Throw your hands up, people, you must Boston. SOS, bilancio negativo, se mi chiamano straniero nel posto dove vivo. SOS, pronto all'esecuzione, se mi chiamano straniero nella mia nazione. Amir Issaa, UMass Boston, thanks to Veteran Nathan. Yo, SOS, pronto all'esecuzione, se mi fanno senti uno straniero. Lo porto dalla strada, tutto il mondo è la mia casa. E Zayak, oh la chico che passa, non lo puoi fermare, si espande a macchia d'olio. Te, Votamir, figlio di un immigrato al Campidoglio. Voglio fare i soldi come tutti i presidenti. Glielo dico in aula, in faccia a tutti i presenti. In un mondo dove il segreto è come ti presenti. Non fidarti di nessuno, te, meglio che mi senti. Resto in bilico su un filo precario. Firmo un patto col diavolo, divento un mercenario. Questa Mir, l'ultimatum scritto con la bile. Non mi clicchi, non mi quitte, è finito le pile. L'oro che porto al collo me l'ha dato mio padre. Più voi dite cazzate, più lui continua a brillare. Fiero del mio nome, del mio sangue meticcio. Adesso mi basta questo e sono il più ricco. Sulle mani, throw your hands up. Yeah, SOS, bilancio negativo, se mi chiamano straniero nel posto dove vivo. SOS, pronto all'esecuzione, se mi chiamano straniero nella mia nazione. SOS, bilancio negativo, se mi chiamano straniero mi giro e gli sorrido. SOS, pronto all'esecuzione, se mi fanno sentire uno straniero nella mia nazione. Yo, thanks people. I think this. Yeah. The hip-hop culture is universal. When I start in Italy, me and my friends, a lot of friends, the people around us say, you won't act like American. In Italian, the word is this, tu vuoi fa l'americano. Tu vuoi fa l'americano.
Yeah,
it's a famous song.
American, right?
You want to act like American guy, but I think this, I don't want to act like American guy. I want to act like a hip hop guy. And it's different. For example, you search on YouTube rap music from Uzbekistan or from India or from Italy or from Nigeria. Exist in every country of the world. And this culture born in the US, in the Bronx, and I know the history. La mia pelle, it's my skin. I wanna write this song because a day I opened the TV and listened a journalist called an African man, uomo di colore. Uomo di colore. In Italy, a lot of journalists, a lot of politicians, a lot of people use this word, uomo di colore. Uomo
man
di colore.
Of color, right? Man of color.
Colored man. Colored. I don't love this. I don't love this. Why? I imagine a black man, colored man. Maybe you Italian, you don't have your color. It's a stupid thing for me, really. And I use like some rappers, metaphors. And I use this metaphor. The color of my skin, I look my face in the mirror one day, and I think, for example, the color of my skin is the history of my father and my mother. This, my father, you know the name of the river, Nile, the Nile River in Egypt. I born in a hospital in Rome, not in Egypt, in a hospital in the middle of the river, Tevere, the Tevere River in Rome, this hospital. And I imagine two different rivers. One river from Egypt arrived, the Nile, and the river from Rome mixed like this. It's styles. Yeah, I play with this metaphor, words, and this, okay? E non pensavo che finisse così. Dal giorno in cui ho messo piede qui, sto lottando e non mangio, se abbasso il mio sguardo. La mia pelle mi ricorda chi sono, un bastardo con qualcosa di nuovo. Sto lottando e questo affanno mi dà la forza per farlo. La mia pelle è del colore della terra, cambia quando è sotto il sole, come inchiostro su un'agenda, quando scrivo queste frasi, come terapia, un uomo che si sente libero, scrivendo una poesia, quando incrocio le mie mani, lo faccio per pregare, il mio pensiero va alle vite in bilico là in alto mare, e se sono qua io ringrazio mio padre che ha lasciato tutto e ha trovato il coraggio per scappare. Io figlio delle ambizioni della vita, scrivo su questa panchina, sogno Ibiza e Costa Rica e non guardo più la TV, non credo a ogni giornale, da quando leggo questi libri ho iniziato a pensare, vado in giro con la faccia di chi non ha più paura, sono un uomo tutto il mondo chiuso in queste 4 mura, sogno l'Africa, l'America, l'Australia, sogno di essere un gabbiano in volo, parte di quest'aria, e non pensavo che finisse così, dal giorno in cui ho messo piede qui, sto lottando e non mangio, se abbasso il mio sguardo, la mia pelle mi ricorda chi sono, un bastardo con qualcosa di nuovo, sto lottando e questo affanno mi dà la forza per farlo. La mia pelle è del colore delle dune, la mia storia 1000 soli e 1000 lune, cresciuto guardando il cielo e i suoi pianeti, d'estate ascoltavo il vento e i suoi segreti, giro intorno al sole solo coi miei piedi, giocando tra le nuvole da quando ho pochi mesi, volo libero, rincorro i miei pensieri con il cuore che batte forte come per gli atleti. La mia pelle è del colore della sabbia, lo stesso sulla carta di muri di questa stanza. Nel mio sangue c'è anche quello di mia mamma, un bastardo da quando ero nella pancia. Di lottare non ho smesso mai un minuto, ho i segni addosso di ogni dramma che ho vissuto. La mia pelle non la venderò a nessuno e mi ricorda tutti i giorni che sono il numero 1. E non pensavo che finisse così. UMass Boston, Amir Issaa. Yo, this is a special event thanks to Vetri Nathan, yo, Lorenzo Buonanno, Shannon McHugh, yeah, yeah. Con qualcosa di nuovo, sto lottando e questo affanno mi dà la forza per farlo. Grazie, thanks people. And I wanna write this song because for me, the warriors, I think this, it's a metaphor. The warriors, I don't love war. I don't love soldiers go to shoot in war. But for me, the people like us, the people fighting every day for the dreams, the people go to work for the food on the table. People like, for example, my son now is 20 years old and go now the first year of university and study every day. My son is a warrior. Veteran Nathan is a warrior. Akrobatik is a warrior. We fighting every day for us, for the dreams, to change this word in positive, like this. It's a metaphor and called Guerrieri, people. La guerra è tutti i giorni, strade, campi di battaglia, gente che si alza, corre forte, altrimenti non mangia. Questi sogni super light non riempiono la pancia, se le speranze non aumentano gli zeri in banca e non ti resta che cercare l'energia lassù. Cerchi risposte qua al momento, non ne trovi più, non puoi fare altro che rialzarti quando non puoi fermarti, ormai sei in gioco, è inutile che scappi. Conosco gente che si è spenta e che ha lasciato tutto, non ci ha creduto più, adesso è morta dentro il lutto. Solo l'amore può salvarci dalla carestia, rassegnazione che dilaga, ormai è un'epidemia e nel tuo cuore c'è una luce, illumina la via. Sguardo rivolto al sole, lui ti darà l'energia e non ci credere a chi dice che è impossibile, ripartendo da zero tutti i giorni, oltre ogni limite, sotto il sole che riscalda la terra. Throw your hands up, from the left to the right. Lorenzo, sulle mani, sulle mani. Ogni giorno in battaglia, noi senza medaglia, se vinci tu è soltanto per te. Ogni giorno in battaglia, noi senza medaglia, siamo guerrieri. E non aver paura se la vita rema contro, non sei solo in questo viaggio, ci sta mezzo mondo. La tua donna, una famiglia, lotti per un figlio, sei un soldato un'altra notte in cerca di consiglio, e al mattino ogni guerriero parte da un quartiere per ritornare la sera a casa tutti insieme. Siamo in mezzo al mare, noi navi fatte di carta, giovani in bilico arenati su strade di sabbia. Non c'è scusa se lo vuoi la storia, puoi cambiarla, vuoi riscriverla, non vuoi soltanto ricordarla. Ogni uomo ha il suo destino scritto sulle mani, punta in alto, le ambizioni sono le tue ali, camminando sulle nuvole, il soffitto e il cielo non ti prenderanno mai se dentro sei un guerriero. Mai, mai, alza la testa e corri, se vai, vai, alza la testa e sotto il sole che riscalda la terra, nessun altro che può farlo per te. Ogni mattina in queste strade è una guerra, quando la vita se la prende con te. In battaglia noi senza... Yeah, Akrobatik! Yeah, ogni giorno in battaglia noi senza medaglia. Siamo guerrieri che riscalda la terra, nessun altro che può farlo per te. Ogni mattina in queste strade è una guerra, quando la vita se la prende con te. Ogni giorno in battaglia noi senza medaglia, se vinci qua è soltanto per te. Ogni giorno in battaglia noi senza medaglia. Show your hands up, last chorus. Che riscalda la terra, nessun altro che può farlo per te. Ogni mattina in queste strade è una guerra, quando la vita se la prende con te. Ogni giorno in battaglia noi senza medaglia, se vinci qua è soltanto per te. Ogni giorno in battaglia noi senza medaglia. Siamo guerrieri. Yo, thanks people. Now I start a new moment of my career. Before, I'm a rapper and I compete really with other rappers like me in Italy, put out albums every year, a lot of video clips. But in the last 5 years, I changed the direction. And I never go when I'm a kid in school, really. I don't love to study. And in the last 5 years, I go back in school every week. In this period of my life, I think the same thing. Now I'm a teacher. I don't want to compete with rap industry. Stop, really, because I'm a grown man. And now in Italy, the new rap scene, the rappers have the same age of my son, maybe. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to compete with my son and with the young generation.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
I'm in schools now. Yeah, this is my spot. I teaching, I study, I read a lot of books, I write in books. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love this moment of my life. Also in Italy, in the schools, when I meet the students, maybe the people have, and maybe Akrobatik know this, the people have stereotypes about the hip hop, about the rapper, and have fear because I'm not a rapper, I don't want rap. But this for me, it's not also rap and hip hop, it's writing words. Every people in this chat Zoom use words every day, okay? Maybe this is a new thing for us, okay? It's a new thing, but I don't imagine people in this Zoom chat. This is not a rap school, okay? This is different. This is an academic moment, and this rap, it's only a tool to talk about society, racism, this, okay, people? Don't have fear. This is not a rap competition, okay? It's different. In Italy, when I go in my school, the elementary school, I know the filastrocche. I don't know the word in English. Com'è, Vetri? Filastrocche.
Filastrocche are like play rhymes. They can be tongue twisters as well. Yeah.
Yeah. When you go to school in Italy, the teacher wanna teaching you this. Ambarabaci cicocò, tre galline sul comò, che facevano l'amore con la figlia del dottore. For me, now, this rap, I make the beat, ambarabaci cicocò, tre galline sul comò. It's the same thing. Rap music, it's poetry. It's poetry with a beat. It's similar to other form of communication. I want to show you this. At all the people. I'm proud about this. Remember the last song of my short show called Guerrieri. This is a book school from a famous editor in Italy called Rizzoli. You know Rizzoli. This is Rizzoli Education. And Rizzoli, the last year, bring my lyrics of Guerrieri, and in this book, this school book, Amir Issaa, Guerrieri, okay? In the middle of a famous song about De André or other famous author in Italy. Maybe this is the first time in Italy a school book have a rapper in the book. The lyrics, playing with the lyrics. And when I see that, I have an idea for a new book. Put out, yeah, this is my new book. The name of the new book is Education Rap. Educazione Rap. The 12th of May in all the bookshop.
Oh, it's coming out on the 12th of May.
Yeah,
so.
coming out on it. Yeah.
Can you tell us about this book, or is it?
Yeah. This book.
Yeah.
This book talk about this, really, about my work in schools, university, refugee center, to trying to use rap like a tool for school, like education, like this moment, okay? And I tell the different stories in Italy, in US, especially in the US. I write a lot about the US because this book, it's not for people like us, but for the young adult, adolescenti, si dice young adult?
Teenagers,
yeah.
Young adults.
Teenagers, for the teenagers. And I want to tell to the teenagers my history. For example, when I listen hip-hop, rap music, first time I listen Public Enemy. And in a song, Public Enemy mention Malcolm X. I don't know who is Malcolm X, really, when I was a kid. When I listened this song, Malcolm X, and I want to know about Malcolm X, and I buy a book of Malcolm X when I was a teenager, and I start to read this history. Rap music teaching me a lot about this. Or like this, Martin Luther King. Okay? And I write in this book, I have a lot of stereotypes about the US. I think, for example, the US, it's all like New York City. Big buildings, people rapping in the corner in my dreams. But the first time I go in United States for work, I go to the Dartmouth College in a small city in New Hampshire, without Black people, without Latinos, without big buildings, without nothing. Only Dartmouth College and a pub,
forest,
a hotel, the forest, and me and my friend Flavio the first time. And Flavio, where's the rapper? The rapper in front of the shop rapping like, I don't know. In my dream, this is, yeah, Notorious B.I.G. And when I arrived the first time in the US, arrived in New Hampshire. And I think the US, it's not like I have my stereotypes. All the US is not like New York City, but I think this. And I think the people in the US have a lot of stereotypes about Italy. Really, a lot of stereotypes. And we fighting against this. The first time in the US, the students ask me, Amir, you have a Vespa? You driving a Vespa in Roma? I never driven a Vespa. Maybe these students watch famous movie like La Dolce Vita, like this. But in Italy, the situation changing. Maybe I think the stereotypes, it's from Italy to US and from US to Italy. The same thing, stereotypes. The people in Italy think the people in the US, for example, eating hamburgers every day, hamburgers. It's not real, it's not true. And I never eat pasta every day, pasta and pizza. This is stupid things, I know, but imagine this, stereotypes around us every day. In the hip hop, we representing people, society, spot, like the neighborhoods, for example. Every time I write rhymes, I write in names. Name of my neighborhood, name of my friends. For example, in the hip hop, my name is, when I rapping, Amir. When I writing graffiti art, it's other, Cina, C-I-N-A, it's other name. My mother called me with other name, Massimo. I have 3 names, for example. And Torpignattara, for example, my neighborhood, it's like this. This is other, da Torpignattara all'Olimpo hip hop. Torpignattara, I use Torpignattara, but also Torpigna, but also TP. Dal Casilino TP arrivo fino a Grace Street, sono Amir, l'indipendente che punta al mainstream. TP. We in the hip hop use a lot naming. And for me, the best thing I learned from the graffiti art culture in the hip hop. Because in the hip hop, when you riding, for example, on the subway car in the 80s in New York City, you never write your real name. For example, in Rome, when I writing on the walls, when I'm a kid, people, now I stop with this. I'm legal now. When I writing on the walls, I never write the name. My mother called me Amir. My mother called me Massimo. My real name is the hip hop name, like Cina, for example. My hip hop name, for example, Akrobatik, the real name, it's not Akrobatik, but it's other name. And choose a name, okay? Like this, maybe in the hip hop, the name of you is important, yeah.
Okay, so one reason to do it is to like represent this, like your region or your group.
Yeah, I represent.
I would love to hear your thoughts on this also.
Yeah. I represent because when I rapping, I have a strong, powerful tool to communicate. And I know a lot of people beside me, around me, don't have this powerful microphone like me, like this. The powerful microphone, okay? And the people don't have this. And when I rapping for me, but also for the people around me, the people of my neighborhood, the people. When I rapping in the US, for example, I have with me the people of my neighborhood, the people of my crew, my family, my son, all the people I representing like this.
I mean, first of all, so much of what Amir said is just like what I think. I agree with all of it, really, because it is about representing your community and being the voice of the people who don't have the same opportunity to get their message out there, you know. So that's really important. Another thing that I would add to that too is just the historical importance. Like, you know how Amir was talking about the way he found out about Malcolm X through Public Enemy, you know, the way he found out about, you know, an alternative history to what the mainstream just kind of, this is what everybody gets to learn about America from America education. You know, a lot of people got that through hip hop, especially a lot of people of color, especially a lot of people of color who were children to single mothers, because, you know, there wasn't the internet, there was, you know, music, and we're listening to these tapes and these records, and the things that are getting said by Chuck D and Rakim and KRS-One and all these guys of that time, Run DMC, those things were sticking with us because it was like, this was a primary source of this type of information. And so when you can even go to pre-hip hop, this isn't just a rap thing or a hip hop thing. Like, if you listen to the song by Stevie Wonder called Sir Duke, in that song, he does a whole roll call of other Black artists that you need to know who they are.
Oh,
Duke Ellington, Maya Angelou. Yeah, it's a classic song, right? And he's giving shout outs just like we do in hip hop, not even necessarily to people from his immediate community or his friends either, but to keep the for lack of a better phrase, to keep the chain of history going, so that, you know, when the actual history kind of gets swept under the rug for whatever pop thing sells 50 million copies, there's still a way to archive and document all these people and all this great stuff. And that's why sampling is so important too. Because if, you know, Amir makes a record and decides to take one of my old vinyls, you know what I'm saying, and scratch something that I said, you know, off of the vinyl part and put it on his record, now I'm immortalized in that way in one more place, in one more platform. So every time somebody mentions you on a record in a way that's respectful and gives you props, it immortalizes you. So I think as artists, as an artist community, we kind of owe that to each other too. You know what I mean? That's why when we have interviews, we talk about each other, and when there's tours, we collaborate on songs. You see probably more collaborations between rappers than any other type of music, any other genre of music, you know, featuring. It's like hip hop made the feature like a thing. You know what I mean? It's like you reach out. You know, I've had just this week people reach out from 2 or 3 different countries to do songs with them, because, you know, that keeping the community together is the actual tool that hip hop has in order to not just get completely drowned out by mainstream pop culture. I just want to say, like, there's a producer named Illmind from Jersey, who's now a Grammy-winning producer. He's produced for Beyonce and, you know, Outkast, just all types of unbelievable artists. The first thing he ever put out was a song that he produced for me. And every time this man gets interviewed, he says, you know, that record that I made for Akrobatik in 2002 is what made all this happen. And he always makes sure to give me props for that. And it's just like, you know, I heard the beat and I liked it, and I was like, let me try something with it. And it became something that people liked. But it was like so momentous for both of us because it set, you know, both of our careers on this arc. And, you know, we always give each other props for that. So it's like, even though he's gone on, he has Grammys on his shelf. Our song didn't win a Grammy. It was just known by some people who liked it. But he's gone that far, but still always remembers that. So the ways that we as artists kind of shout each other out, it's a beautiful thing because that goes back to the neighborhoods. When someone from Dorchester hears Ill Mind say, well, my first song was with Akrobatik 20 years ago, then those artists in my neighborhood are like, wow, you know, he's from where I'm from. You know, when they see us do anything. You know, and I'm sure that there are a ton of artists in Italy that see what Amir's doing and they're like, wow, that not only am I seeing what you can do as an artist, but I'm seeing all the different ways that you can branch out from that and do other things with your skill besides just make songs. You know, I mean, you can make change and that's what the brother's doing. So I applaud that, you know.
Maybe the best collaboration, it's my last single with David Blank and Davide Shorty, the song called Non Respiro, I Can't Breathe, in Italy. Yeah. And
can you tell us a little bit about this song? Because it connects directly to events in America.
The video is beautiful. You have to see it.
Wow, thank you, Akrobatik. The people in the video, it's all people of my neighborhood, really.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And I give the song maybe 1 week before shooting the video. The people listen the song and rapping all the song, from children's to old people, but not only Black people. All the people in my neighborhood is from different community. Bangladesh community, Indian, Chinese, Italian. For me, we humans in this, especially in these video clips. Maybe this is my favorite collaboration, really. It's from the heart. When I see the video of George Floyd death, I crying, and maybe in the next 4 days, every day I wake up, I have this picture, this image of Floyd. And a Sunday morning, I wake up and I write in a freestyle immediately. Non respiro, mamma, vieni a salvarmi. Mi hanno ucciso a mani nude, senza armi. Sono solo uno dei tanti caduti. Chiudo gli occhi, mamma, e tanti saluti. La mia pelle non è spessa abbastanza. But this is deep, deep, deep rhyming. When I put out this freestyle without beat, only rhyming, other artists in Italy write me and call Davide Shorty, it's a famous singer, and tell me, Amir, I want to collaborate. I want to collaborate for an official song, not freestyle. And we create this. For me, this is one of my best song and best video and best collaborations, really. It's from the art, really.
I know what my favorite collaboration is. So Amir was talking about Public Enemy. Public Enemy is definitely one of the most important music acts to me, personally, in my life.
Wow.
And so from a very young age, like 12, 13 years old, Chuck D was literally my hero. This was the person who, to me, was the closest thing to a real life superhero from a comic book that existed. You know, the most powerful voice I had ever heard, and everything the man said was deliberate and with purpose. And so, and the beats were amazing and his crew was amazing. So getting to actually meet Chuck D was like one of just heart stopping almost, you know, it's just like, I can't believe I'm actually meeting him. And when I got to meet Chuck D, it was at a time when I had been putting music out for a while, and it turned out he was a fan of mine. And he brought me up on stage and let me kick a rhyme for the crowd at his show, when he came to Boston. And, you know, we spoke not too long after that. We did, we did a song together called Kindred, which also featured a singer, Brenda Gathers, on there too. But Chuck did the intro. He doesn't rap on the song, but he does the intro, and it starts off, it's just like, "This is Chuck D," in that voice that you just know. And I'm like, yo, that's going on my album. You know what I'm saying? I cannot believe this. Yeah. But the song itself is basically named after a book of the same name by Octavia Butler, who is the late Octavia Butler, who is basically one of my favorite authors, my favorite science fiction author. And it's a book that she wrote about a Black female protagonist who ends up in some type of mystical situation that sends her back to like pre-Civil War times in America, and also sends her husband back there, and he's white. And it turns out that in that time, he was like the master of the plantation. And it was, you know, the story was just really interesting. And it really just got me to think about writing a song from different people's perspectives. So this was in 2005, around the time of Katrina. And so the first verse is basically about what happened in New Orleans during Katrina. And then the second verse, or the first verse, is about what happened during slavery. And the second verse is about what happened during Katrina. And Chuck D just does this job of like weaving the narrative throughout the song. And I just, you know, I'm just always so grateful to him for doing that, because it's just the one of the people who made me want to rap in the first place just, you know, blessed my track like that. It's just, you know, I'm just glad it happened.
In Italy, I think now in this, maybe in the last 3 years, it's good. It's good because now it's contemporary topic every day. Every day, the people in Italy talk about this, the media, the journalists, and want talk with you. Okay, this is good for your career, but I have a bad come si dice, rapporto,
relationship,
bad relationship with the media in Italy, because the media won't talk to you, but don't want the truth. Okay, don't want the truth. In Italy, for example, in the last month, in the national TV, on the national TV, a journalist used the N word. Normally, people, normally, we in Italy have this problem. And maybe the color of my skin helped me, because we have lights now, lights. All the people want to talk with you. You a new Italian. You a son of an immigrant. I want to talk to you, but don't want the truth. Okay? This help me sometimes, but sometimes don't help me. For example, I walk in the streets with my friends. The police around me look me and ask me the ID, not my friends. This. At the airport, for example, the police want my ID, not the ID of the white people. And this is not a help for me. Maybe it's hard for me have a perfect, it's not easy, it's not easy. Sometimes help me, sometimes not. Depends.
Well, it's a really interesting situation because, you know, for me personally, just speaking as me and my own experience, I can't really look at my ethnicity or racial background or where I'm from or anything like that as a hindrance. I mean, I look at life as if I am as privileged as a person could have possibly been, you know, to just put a human being on the face of the earth and say, now go. I think that I'm just about as privileged as any person could possibly have been. Maybe not at the date of my birth, but throughout the arc of my life. To the point where now I'm just like, look, if, you know, whatever is there for me is there for me, and it's up to me to take it. you know, and if I don't, then I won't get it. But if I do, if I put the effort into it and the passion into it, then I will. And so no one else's xenophobia, no one else's bigotry, no one else's privilege, no one else's issues that they have that make their life what it is. Thankfully, I haven't indirectly been affected by that stuff too much. And I don't feel directly affected by it at all, because I know what's there for me. I know who I am. I know what my specific situation is. So I just try to use my position as a position to let other people know that it's the same thing for them, and not to let them, and, you know, not to fall into what's constantly being drilled into our minds, which is, you know, you have a snowball's chance in hell of making it, and you're not anything, and your life doesn't matter. If you go missing, nobody's going to look for you, whatever. You know, the way that they make people of color feel, unfortunately, in this country. And so the perspective that I'm coming from is, I grew up in Dorchester. Yes, that neighborhood was not as diverse as you would think when I was growing up there. Maybe it is now, but when I was there, it was all Black people. There was one white lady who lived in the cul-de-sac at the end of the block, and we all loved her. And it'd be like, oh, there goes our white lady. And she walked and go to the cul-de-sac, waves to us. And that's what my neighborhood was like. I went to public school for a while, but then I went to private school, and I got to go to school with the sons of the senators and the organized crime bosses and, you know, all the other politicians and bankers and CEOs. I went to school with their sons and nephews. So I got to see another kind of slice of life and how things operate, for better or for worse. I'm still just looking at it like, hey, I'm just lucky. You know what I mean? I've had things happen over the course of my life where I could have lost my life and I didn't. I'm still here. I feel like as far as rolls of the dice go, things have been okay. The thing that maybe makes me able to have that perspective more than anything is that I never had financial success in the music industry as part of my goal set. So I'm not somebody who's sitting around mad because he didn't make it rich and didn't become a multi-platinum success. I became exactly what I wanted to be, you know? And so if that means that whatever, it might be, you know, that might come with a smaller paycheck or a smaller show fee or whatever, but at the same time, I get to be exactly who I want to be. I get to walk the halls over university and people call me by the silly name that I made up one day after I smoked a joint 25 years ago. With, you know, professionalism and respect, like, hey, there's Akrobatik. And I'm like, yep, here I am. Let's teach a class. Let's get it. So I think it hasn't been a hindrance.
This is a funny history. Only one time in Mount Holyoke College. Mount Holyoke College, a teacher read my name. Amir Issaa is an Italian guy. Is an Italian name, yeah, but only one time really. When I arrived in the US the first time in the JFK airport, I'm chill. Why? You know why? Because the police in front of me, this policeman is Black. The other girl work at the desk of the airport company, have the hijab. The hijab is Muslim. And I see a lot of diversity around me. And I think, wow, this is quiet for me. This is quiet for me. Not look the difference of my skin and think have a bad feeling about me. In Italy now, this is different because the society is multicultural society, really. You today walk in Rome, Milano, every city, you look around you, a lot of people, like in the US, Chinese or Black, but you open the TV, only white people, only white people. You look the government, only white people. We don't have representation, okay, like this. In the US, racism is normally, but not in the US and all over the world. Racism is all over the world, but in the US, celebrate the diversity every day. When I watch TV in the US, I watch different people from the society in TV. When I go in the streets, a normal thing, driving bus, okay? Driving bus, a black man with the, I don't know, the hair, or in Italy, this is not possible, not possible. You driving a bus, you white. You are president in the government, you white. But now the situation changing. Because when I go to school, when I was a kid, I'm the only guy, the only kid in all the school have different color and different name. Now, when I teach in rap laboratory, rap workshop in schools, the middle of the classroom, it's mixed sons of immigrants. And maybe the Italian society changing, but slowly. Because in Italy, we have a strong culture, strong tradition, strong history. We Italians, you black, not Italian like me, because I'm white Italian, you black Italian, stupid fightings.
It's like that here too, Amir. It's like that here too, because everywhere that I've been in the world, everywhere that I go, all anybody says to me is, "Hey, you're American, huh? That's cool. Tell me about what it's like to be American." But in America, I'm an African American, even though I've never set foot in Africa. You know what I mean? I know people there, but I've never been there. Yeah. You know, I have more of a connection to New England than I do to Africa in terms of just who I am, my personality. You know what I mean? If I went over to Kenya, they'd probably laugh at me at my inability to do normal everyday stuff. You know, so I think that it's not so harmonious here. If you are a black person or just a non-white person, I think that right now our country is in a state of the majority being in fear of becoming the minority because they don't want to get treated the way minorities get treated. And so they're holding on to this nationalist idea that America is a white country and everyone else is just an immigrant. And they're coming from other places, which is why if you're in America and you're Italian, you're just an American. You don't get called an Italian American. Even though maybe your dad was born in Italy or your mother was born in Italy. You know, like how many generations back do I have to go before I can even find out what country in Africa my family might have originated from? But I have the tag African American that every white person gets to call me when they look at me. I don't feel comfortable with that, you know? And so then around the world, I feel like people are just more like, you know, kind of thinking that we have it all figured out and that, you know, everybody's just cool. LeBron James is making $50 million a year, so everything must be cool for black people. You guys had a black president. No. You know, our kids are getting murdered in the street by the cops and don't have to, you know, even go to jail for it. So, you know, it's a little different. I'll say this, one time I was in Italy, I was in Torino, and I had a moment that was awkward that turned out beautiful. I was in Torino, and am I pronouncing it right? Turin?
Yeah, Torino, perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was many years ago. But I'm standing outside the venue, and I guess there were some young guys who saw that there was like a tour going on in a rap show. So these 3 kids that were local to the area come riding up on me on bicycles. And they're just like, "What up, my nigga?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, really?" And they didn't expect the response that they got from me. But it was a beautiful moment because it gave me the opportunity to just be like, "Look, man, don't do that to people you don't know. Don't do that," because the few people in my world, in my life that I know well enough, that know me well enough that they could even say that to me without me feeling uncomfortable, don't even really use that word. So, you know, I got the opportunity to just be like, "Look, man, when you see a black man and you want to connect and you want to, you know, talk to us in a way that you think we understand, just say, 'What's up, my brother?' And I guarantee you it will go smoothly every time."
Yeah, bro. I read this in my new book because this book is for teenagers And I don't want the teenager in Italy learn stupid act like this, really. But it's a misunderstanding.
Yeah, I don't think it's stupid, Amir.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was stupid. I thought they were trying to show me love. They just didn't know how to do it. You know, DMX, the artist who just passed away recently, he's known for, you know, y'all gonna make me lose my mind and all these party songs, but he has a song called Who We Be. And the whole point of that song is they don't know who we be. And he runs down the list. They see this, 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 this. What we see is this, 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 this. And so even though the admiration and the love might be there, because of the way our country promotes itself, people don't know how to address us in a way that we're actually comfortable with. And so that's why I said it was a moment that was beautiful to me, because it gave me a chance to just tell a few people, hey, nah, we can do this in a better way and actually connect the way we're trying to connect. I'm sorry to interrupt though.
No, I trying to teach this at the kids. The hip hop is universal, but the society, it's different. For example, you born in Italy, you listen hip hop music from the US. The US rappers use certain words. Mm-hmm. You rapping in Italy, it's not possible you bring these words, translating in Italian, because you imagine this is the hip hop language. Not, it's different. I rap in my songs, every word, it's not imitating American rapper. I don't want to act like American rapper. I am proud. I'm an Italian rapper. I use my language. I learn about the hip hop history, but use Italian words and don't trying to imitate and using the N word to make fun. Yeah, man, not man. But it's hard. It's hard. Yeah, the use solely low. I write a lot of songs about this.
They've tried to remove it, but it's not going.
For example, you born in other country, France or Argentina, and you have your grandfather from Italy, you have citizenship. It's stupid. You born in Italy and you don't have parents, you're not Italian. I don't understand this.
I think that really. What's happening is that just countries are trying to hold on to like the ancient idea that a country is supposed to be ethnically defined by the ethnic majority in that country. And so once that becomes threatened in any way, people just get scared and they start reacting to it in all these weird different ways that don't make any sense. I don't think that you can just control the population in that way. You know what I mean? It's like, for instance, in America, a lot of people are afraid when their daughter brings home a black guy, because guess what? That baby's gonna be black and there's nothing you can do about it. And that scares people, and that just makes them not like what they see just on sight before they even think about what you might be like as a person or what your purpose on the earth might be. Keep him away from my daughter. Keep her away from my son. You know what I'm saying? Because biologically, you know, maybe there's a clock ticking that doesn't even need to, there's nothing anyone can do about that. Why are we trying to control what the world's going to look like in 200 or 300 years when none of us are going to be here? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me. But there's people fighting for that cause, fighting for it. They're on TV every night telling you that that's what you should be prioritizing in your life, is making sure that that doesn't happen and Black Lives Matter doesn't show up on your front door or something, whatever they make up. It's, you know, well, I guess that's a different conversation, but we are talking about racism a little bit, and that's kind of what it's founded in.
Here are two people today, and I'm going to have just maybe a couple of minutes more to finish off by just what your feelings were, to listen to this work in Italian, to look at the words, the meaning, the cultural specificities of the names of the people, the places are very Italian to me, but they're and yet they have this commonality and this incredible, I guess, legacy, because Amir has listened to your music as a kid. And how do you feel about this global influence you've had? which is just amazing to think about. And Amir, how do you feel about being face to face with one of your sources of artistic inspiration? So maybe just finishing off with this final question.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm exciting. Really, I'm exciting because Akrobatik is one of the rapper of my part of the life. I listen hip hop for learn, rhyming, metaphors. It's not song for the charts. It's not song only for entertainment. It's like sport with words, with rhyming. You know, Akrobatik? Yeah, yeah, I know that. And at the start of my career, I listened American rappers like Akrobatik to learn. For example, I stop the song and go back and trying to understand the style like this, the first part of my career, and imitate like this. Sono il PFGO, uomo di prestigio, cash come giga, o paffi su un video, fresh come stilo, rime dal Nilo, file di linee precise su un filo che tiro e che giro, come mi gira, prendo la mira, tu mira, do tira, si stira, qui la gente in file, si colpisce alle spalle per arrivare prima e prima di parlare di Amir China, la testa pensa che a 16 anni gero Cina. This is only style, rhyming.
Yeah.
And in this part of my career, Akrobatik, learn me a lot of this. The second part of my career, I concentrate with the content of the music. And my style, it's more simple, like the song I performed tonight. It's simple style, but have good content. And today, I'm excited. It's a good experience. I hope to meet Akrobatik personally, really.
Indeed.
Maybe in the future, I come into Boston or you want to come to Rome.
It'll happen.
Man, and we connect. And maybe we write in a song together. Maybe.
Yeah, man. Let's take the maybe off. Let's just do it. Let's just do it, man.
I want to song with Akrobatik.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Let's do it. I want a song with you too, Amir, man. I love it.
Yeah.
And I would just say that watching you give this presentation in this way with just such professionalism and experience is just fantastic. And it continues what I hope to see happen more and more as the years go on, which is artists graduating, like you said, graduating from the point of feeling like they need to be in competition with everybody and getting to that point where they realize that they have a different job. I mean, the way that you put that when you were making reference to like the new generation of rappers being like the age of maybe your son, you know what I mean? Like when you look at it that way, it's like, yeah, now it's our time to be the teachers. And so you're doing a very great job at that, man. And so I commend you for that.
Thank you.
And I just thought of a couple of bars that also go with what you were just saying and the exercise from earlier. I'll just give you like 6 bars. Like, most rappers fail because of the sloppy way their beats are chosen. They need to move to Germany and rock some lederhosen. You mess with Ak, you hear that beat explosion. A good look, like you found a parking spot that had the meter broken. I rock a heap of shows and wake up all the sleepers dozing and get these heaters going so we get the people knowing. Best believe I go in, flowing's in my hemoglobin. Plus I got the game to pull that shorty by the speaker posing. I'll stop there, you know what I'm saying? But it's been an honor to go back and forth with you on the music and just building on just these critical, important issues, man. Thank you guys for having me and thinking of me to invite me here to take part in it.